Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents. With me, your host Valerie, and sometime kitty co-hosts Miss Purrington and Mookie are lurking around. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. In addition to podcasts, Comedy Wham brings you articles, album reviews, show reviews, our advice column, our listing of festivals from across the country and the world, our FPIA contest page, and my articles for the Austin Chronicle, thebarbedwire.com, and the San Antonio Current about the Austin and Central Texas comedy scenes. Our most popular feature is our events page for live comedy shows in Austin, Houston, and DFW, where 100% of the entries you see come from comics and producers. Click the Submit a Show button from the top of the homepage or events page to fill out the survey to get your show listed. It's free and easy. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo to our followers. We also offer paid promo pushes on Instagram. By the way, follow us on Instagram at Comedy Wham. Speaking of events, come check out my new passion project show, Improv Vintage. You bring an item and watch it come to life in a fully improvised performance inspired by your vintage item. And we've got a showcase coming up on Friday, February 27th in Bee Cave. Keep an eye on at Comedy Wham on Instagram for the latest updates. Want to support these resources we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on Venmo or Patreon. Click the Support CW icon on our homepage to see the ways that you can help us. Our podcast was launched in 2016. That means if you're good at math, 10 years. To bring you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations, and will usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know the folks that make the comedy scene as fascinating off stage as it is on stage. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. Today, we are talking to somebody who is from Austin, but has been making quite a splash in LA. She's been on the Netflix is a Joke Festival. She's got a dry bar comedy special called Half Sister. She's got a Don't Tell comedy special, and she's got an LMAOF comedy special. She is the host of SSMR I'm Okay podcast. She is actually performing in Austin the night after our Comedy Wham showcase in February, so you can check her out on February 28th at the Highland Village. I didn't tell her this before, but we actually have something in common besides Austin. We have both been guests on The Dork Forest.
Oh my gosh, how exciting.
Yes. And now Comedy Wham presents our guest, Macey Isaacs.
Wow, thank you so much. Well, now I have to find out what your dorkdom was.
Well, it was not nearly as cool and hip as yours.
I don't know that mine's cool and hip. If I don't think it's 1960.
Well, it's also not 1980. Mine is the original Law and Order episode or series, not the
Oh,
OG.
so not SVU,
None of
not
the franchises.
yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Although some franchises I can tolerate, but I can't do SVU. But yeah, all the OGs. Sam Waterston,
Yeah.
Gary Orbach. Oh,
Wow.
and yours was Elvis.
And mine was Elvis. That's right. That's right.
So we're old school.
Yep. Do they still have Law and Order, the normal Law and Order, or is that
They
gone?
they do. No,
Okay.
it's in its 24th. It had a pretty long lull, and then it came back a few seasons ago, all new cast. And
Yeah, I feel like SVU probably took some thunder, right?
oh
Stole
yeah,
some of its thunder. So that's what people usually think of when they think of
yep,
Law and Order. But yeah. Have you
yeah.
ever seen Law and Order UK?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
That's a thing, but I don't think you can watch it over here.
Uh,
When you go over there, all of a sudden, I remember I studied abroad in London, and I'm talking about it on stage right now, but I went over there and, Netflix, everything was different, and there was this Law and Order UK, and I'm like, what is this? More wigs.
okay.
Hmm.
Well, I guess maybe I need to plan a trip to the
I
UK.
think just for that.
Just for that, just to do research.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, Macy, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I start, after the small talk, I start all of my episodes with one opening question,
Oh, okay.
and it is one word to describe your past. I
Oh
love that
my gosh.
reaction.
Oh my gosh. Um, that's incredibly difficult. Okay, one word to describe my past, I would say, uh, uh, I want to say difficult because I feel like, although I think when, and why I'm going to break down why I say that, because I was just thinking about this morning, because I saw this kid, I went and got a matcha for this interview, and I saw this kid who was probably like 8 years old, and he had his hands on his face, and he was like, oh, like the weight of the world was just,
Mhm.
on him. And it was so funny because I'm like, what's he worried about? And then I thought about me at 8, and I was like, that was me. Like, I think when I was younger growing up, I made everything maybe more difficult than it
Mhm.
needed to be. And I think that is sort of why comedy is so important to me because I feel like I'm finally like, it's teaching me to enjoy life. I think that's not easy. That doesn't come easy to me. And now I think it does because now I think my perspective is a little better, but I just there's like a lightness, and I think a lot of comics are very serious, so that's normal, but this playfulness that I'm now allowed, I never had as a kid.
Mhm.
So that's why I would say, and like everything, it was like every school project, everything was like, oh my God, like how am I going to do this? It was I had to, make everything. It's like it was just a collage. I remember I had this one collage project. I had to collage a like Mead notebook.
Okay.
And the point was, this was for, I think, high school freshman year of English. The point was, this Mead notebook was supposed to be just a journal for us to keep throughout the year. This was a completion grade. This was not anything, but we were just supposed to do a collage of all of our favorite things to make it ours.
Okay.
I put it off, obviously, to the day before it was due because I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to put a collage of who I am on a Mead notebook. I mean, that was like, I'm so confused how to do that. And I struggle with, I'm better at it now. Like, I I have this trunk. It's right here to my right, and I've been collecting stickers for many, many years, and I wanted to put the stickers on the trunk,
Mm.
but I was like too nervous or like I feel like I was going to do it wrong, but I eventually last year I did it, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm pretty good at that." Like I did a good job, but like in ninth grade, I was like, "You can't do this." So my mom did it for me.
Oh,
And she did a wonderful job, I must say. And I think this particular project didn't scare because she also doesn't want to do homework. But I think this project being more creative, she was like, okay, it wasn't too daunting for her. So she felt like she could take it on. But I found that journal when I was in Austin recently, and I was like, what? And it was interesting too because a lot of it, I was like, oh, I haven't really changed. It was like Elvis and Dr. Pepper, and it was just like, oh, okay. And I had Laverne and Shirley and I Love Lucy and things that I still love today. And what a long answer, but I just didn't want to say difficult and then not explain what I mean by that.
That is amazing. I love when I get the explanation. Sometimes I have to ask for the
Yeah,
rationale.
I've been doing podcasts long enough that like I know that you want the guest to talk. When I first started being guests on podcasts, I was like, "Oh, it's theirs. I'll just let them." They're like, "Oh, no, 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 we want you. That's why you're here."
Yeah.
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 I always laugh at the guests who say, I'm so sorry I'm talking so much. I'm like, that's kind of
That's
the
kind of the
point.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's explore another thing right off the bat, and that is that you are from Austin. Did you start comedy in Austin?
No, and I feel like I should be technical that I was born in Houston,
Okay.
but I think I was about like 2 or maybe a little under 2. We moved to Austin, so I don't have any Houston memories. I claim Austin is where I'm from.
Yeah.
And I grew up there until I went to college here in California.
Okay.
And then I just sort of stayed after that. And I started comedy right after college in
Okay.
2015. I took some time to wonder what to do. And then in 2015 in LA, I started. So I've
Okay.
done comedy here and there in Austin when I've gone back, but no, I'm an LA comic. And
Okay.
I was a little worried. I was like, because I was researching this show and I was like, uh-oh, does she know I'm not? I go, well, she's gonna find out.
Yeah. No, I interview all over the
Okay.
states,
Okay.
especially when festivals come through, like Moon Tower comes through. I'll
Mm-hmm.
interview comics that are just coming through. So yeah, you don't have to be only a performer. I probably would run out of people to talk to if I did
If
that.
it was just Austin,
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
not
that's
post
true.
COVID. It's you
Yeah,
may have heard it's kind of
I
blown up
have
a bit.
heard. I have heard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, so I know you talk about this in on stage that
Hmm.
you were a basketball player. Did you have any other kind of performance in your background growing up?
No, I did sports. I mean, I remember like, of course, I had to take like drama one semester for something. I took the mandated stuff.
Yeah.
But I Yeah, no. And I think that I started taking improv during college at the Groundlings.
Okay.
And so
Nice.
that was kind of my main intro into any sort of performance. But I felt very behind
Hmm.
because I was like, I felt, especially the Groundlings, because I felt like everyone was a theater major or something. But then when I did stand up, it wasn't like that. There were some theater people, but for the most part, it wasn't. It was everyone had different backgrounds. I didn't feel as, like, oh no, I didn't, I'm so behind. But I still thought maybe that would have helped, like if I had done theater, but I feel I'm kind of coming to a point where I realize I think sports actually was a really good intro to all of this
Yeah.
because I think it helps your mental toughness a lot. And, you know, when you're on stage and like a joke doesn't go well, and I'm sure this works for a play as well, but this is just what I know from playing sports. It's like when you're on stage and a joke doesn't go well, it's kind of like, you missed a shot or something. And if you let that really bother you, then you kind of won't do well the rest of the game or the show.
Yeah.
So I think that it kind of helps with that mental toughness. I'm sure if you play to like a solo sport like golf or swimming, I'm sure that's even better for that because I always played team sports. But yeah, I think and it still sort of feels like, oh, I have a game later or I have a show later. It's kind of similar.
Hmm. Yeah, you psych yourself up.
Yeah.
You're prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna do
Yeah.
a post show recap and
Yeah. Although,
analysis.
yeah, it's funny. We would sometimes, watch game tape, and I'm like, wow, it's like what we're doing.
Same
I
thing.
think I
Watching
don't have
movies.
to do clips or add text to thankfully, if I were, you know, but I don't know, maybe high school kids are doing that now. I have no idea. Maybe they're posting their clips from their games. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they are. So you started, what was it that motivated you to start with Groundlings and with improv?
I got a I had a internship which just fell into my lap because I met this woman just out and about and I started chatting with her and she was impressed. I told her because I was a film major and I
Okay.
was only a film major because I kept thinking I was going to change it. I just like made it. I was a film major because I was like, oh, it doesn't
Control.
matter. You don't really have to declare anyway. I'll just do this for
Uh-huh.
now. And then I just never changed it. But I told her, she was like, what are your favorite movies? And at the time, I think I said Harold and Maude,
Mm.
Paper Moon, and Mother, the Albert Brooks. movie. And I think she was like, oh, whoa, surprised. And so she was like, you should be a PA on, she was a comedian, is a comedian. She was like, I want you to be a PA on one of my short films. I was like, great. And then turns out her husband is Barry Katz. He's a comedian manager. He's been around forever.
Yeah.
So then he offers me an internship. So I interned with him one summer. And so I saw this sort of stand-up business from the other side. And I think that it made me realize that I wanted to be in comedy. And also Bridesmaids came out, and I know that that's so like it's a little everyone sort of was affected by that, but it really did affect me. I like saw that movie in theaters like 7 or 8 times that summer,
Wow.
and I was just like I want to be in comedy some way, but I didn't think I could be doing that exactly, but I thought maybe in some capacity. So then when I was like, well, yeah, maybe a manager or something, and then I saw what he did, and I was like, I don't want to do that. And I also think I was a little turned off of stand up because it seemed really hard, obviously, and like it was maybe not great for mental health. I was like, this seems like nobody's really happy.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's good for me right now. I need something that might be. So I kind of, it seemed like to me the improv people were happier.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. So that's why I started doing improv, is because I saw the sad stand up people. And then I started doing improv and I go, they're too happy. I was like, I don't feel like these are my people. And someone, and in improv, they're like, you were really more of a stand up. I go, oh, I know. Okay. And so I met a girl, Mandy Martino, who's still my friend today. She's a comedian. We met at Groundlings and she goes, you should do stand up. And I go, I don't even know how to start that. And they're all miserable. And I just feel like it'll make me more depressed. And so she signed us up for a class and we went to this class together. And then that first class, I was like, yeah, I think this is more how my brain works. And
Interesting.
then when I went on stage just for the class, I felt happier. And I go, well, I'm actually feeling better doing this. So it can't be, because I think it's the business part that is depressing for people, not the actual performance, unless it's, of course, about experience on stage, which is going to happen. But yeah, so, but it had been a couple years since that internship, and I was like, well, I'll just give it a whirl. And so, it was a lot though, because I think I had a lot of walls built up because I felt insecure about wanting to be a comedian and insecure about wanting to be like famous, I guess. Like it to me, that's so gross. And like, and who am I? I'm just I don't have any sort of relationship to anything artistic is kind of how I felt. But I've kind of come to terms with it now, and it's kind of amazing though, like how it took a long time, and I've now been doing it almost 11 years stand up, and it's like okay, I've come to terms with it, and like I know what I want to do, and I don't feel shame about it anymore.
Yeah. Well, and just listing off the things that I did in the introduction of you, I mean, you're getting like those milestones that matter as you're
Hmm.
getting to that point where you're more of a household name. So, what is the when did you feel like things were starting to pop, and did you like kind of let yourself be joyful in
Mm.
those pops?
I think this last year, I think 2024 and 2025 were kind of big because that's when I taped the dry bar, and and then I taped the Don't Tell after that. So I think those were kind of big milestones, and I just kind of started feeling a lot more. I think it just takes time too to build confidence, and I just was feeling like, okay, this is really what I think when I hit 10 years too, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what I'm doing. And I don't feel like I'm much of an imposter anymore because it's like I really have been doing this now for a decade. And they always say it takes like 10 years to find your voice on stage.
Yeah.
And I always heard that. So then when I hit 10 years, I was like, okay, I'm doing it. So the 10-year mark was really, really important to me. and it kind of just made me feel like I kind of deserve to do this in a way because I put my time in.
Yeah. So funny. So this is, we're recording mid January, and this episode is actually not going to go out until early February,
Mm,
but this is my 10th year of podcasting, and it
mm,
has really been coincidentally amusing to me how in each of the episodes I've recorded so far, and I've recorded a couple, the 10-year thing has
really?
come up. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like kind of, inside kind of shocked that for you, the 10 years is, you know, um, memorable is not the right word, important
Yeah.
to you. Uh,
Yeah.
um, where did you, can you remember your very first, I don't know if open mic was the first
Mm,
thing or the class showcase
mm,
as typically happens when you're taking either the stand up or improv classes.
mhm.
What was your first performance?
I think my first was the stand-up class because I'd done classes at Groundlings, but we'd never had a showcase at that point.
Huh.
So my very first show was for the stand-up class, and it was in the Belly Room at the Comedy Store,
Wow.
which is at the time. So this was 2015, and it was a lot easier to rent out the Belly Room during that time. It would be more difficult to do that now, but I remember. I mean, I was so nervous. I mean, I didn't eat all day, and you know, I promised myself though, like it doesn't matter how this goes, I'm gonna enroll and I'm gonna do the class again, just because I was like, I don't want to put too much pressure on this one.
Mm.
Because I had performed in front of the class and that had gone well. So I was like, you don't use this one as you're gonna quit or not after this. You can decide after the next round if you are, good enough to do this. So I think the very first class showcase, I kind of blacked out during it. I don't remember anything. Like I got off stage and I was like, I have no idea what just happened, but it seemed to have gone well. But I don't think I watched it or anything. I think I was just like, okay, moving on. I'm going to do it again. And then I think the second showcase, which was maybe 4 or 5 weeks later, I was a little bit more present. And I remember I got a laugh because it's so stupid. I had a bottle of water up there and we were only doing 5 minutes. And I said something like, why would I need a bottle for 5 minutes? Why would I need to, that's not a long enough time. And then I think I drank it and then I got a big laugh that was something that wasn't planned.
Mm.
So it felt very special and memorable. And then I kind of after that was like, okay, I think I'm going to keep doing this. But I remember I was driving home from class one night and I had this feeling of like, oh my gosh, I feel like everything is sort of leading to this moment. Like I, there's things to do. Like now I have a platform to sort of uh, digest things that have happened. Like I now have this platform that can help me make sense of, yeah, things in life. And I think that was a really amazing experience. And I still feel that way. Like I feel very thankful to have this sort of art form in my life that that helps me make sense of things.
Mhm. Are there any jokes from those very early days that kind of have presence in your current?
Well, I'm pretty sure the Texas Instruments joke that you love, that is very old. That
Wow.
is like uh I was that's really old. That one's old and then I think one of my earliest jokes was about how I had four half sisters and they're half sister, half what. I think that's one of the original jokes. And those two are probably the main ones that I don't know that they would be, of course, exactly the way they're worded now, but those
Yeah.
those are old.
Yeah. Um, Do you have like a favorite venue that you like to perform at in LA? Because there's
Yeah.
a million comedy performance spaces.
I think I live on the west side of Los Angeles, so I love performing at the Crow and even West Side in Santa Monica. Not just because they're so close, it is very nice how close they are to me. And because LA is kind of a nightmare, but and so is Austin now. Can I be honest?
Of course. Yes.
Austin, how long have you lived in Austin?
I've been here like I'm getting close to 20 years.
Okay, so you were there before the boom.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You remember what it was like.
I do remember what it was like.
Isn't that sad? It's almost better to not know. Um,
Yeah, when I talk to people that have, moved to Austin post-pandemic, they just don't even realize that Austin had a
mhm.
comedy scene. And it's like, yeah, it actually
Mhm.
was a really nice community.
Mhm. And yeah, unique alt kind of. Wouldn't
Yeah,
you say? Like
yeah,
Martha Kelly is I love Martha Kelly.
yeah.
And when I was maybe only a few years into comedy, I was staying with my mom, visiting my mom, and I bought tickets. I was like, I'm just going to go see a show. And I saw a show at Cap City when it was at the strip mall.
Yeah. Oh my God, you and I may have been at this at that show at the same time or weekend because I
That's
went to see
insane.
her.
So it was Martha Kelly and then Daniel Webb
Oh God.
which I love him, and now
Yep,
he's in
yep.
LA.
Hmm.
He was her feature, and then there was a host who was so funny who passed away.
Mm.
Um,
LaShonda.
yes, and I remember. I mean, I was like, that I can't believe that's who I saw because it was an incredible show.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was sitting in the front row by myself, and I was wearing like a trench coat, and I think I borrowed it from my mom or something. And Martha Kelly, I could not help. She just makes me laugh all the time. And she started a joke, and I just started laughing at. And she was like, ma'am, that is not the joke part, ma'am in the trench coat." And I was like, I've never been referred to as ma'am in the trench coat or lady in the trench coat at one point is what she. And I just anyway, so I that to me was like peak.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so anyway, I got off topic. We were talking about what venues I like
Yeah.
in tech. No, oh my gosh, where am I? I'm in Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
Yeah.
I'm in Los Angeles, but I'm wearing this home state hat on purpose because this is
Oh,
my favorite breakfast taco place here in LA.
oh, okay.
It is she went to UT and she's from San Antonio and she
Oh, okay.
opened, yeah, so she knows. And then I'm wearing my P. Terry's
Oh,
t-shirt.
amazing.
Yeah, I had to do that.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, so I like the Crow and I love West Side. The Crow is really special to me too because I run a show there,
Ah,
a monthly show there. And then because my first show ever was in the belly room at the Comedy Store, that is one of my favorite rooms. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm in the development program at the Comedy Store, so I get some spots there, and it's a cool place. It really is.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I used to date somebody in LA, so I would actually
Hmm.
go regularly to LA, and I would love to go see the shows in the main room. And
Hmm.
back in the day, I would
Yeah.
even go to see Kill Tony
Mm.
because I consider Jeremiah Watkins a good friend
Hmm.
because he was the band leader and he was just, he and, oh gosh, why do I forget his name? The drummer uh, were so hilarious. Um,
Jeremiah is so nice too.
and so nice. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
I like the
so,
improv too. I don't want to do, I like the improv as well. I love the
yeah.
improv because they let you park if you're performing there. They don't make you pay to park. They let you park. It's
Oh, that's,
lovely.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's very important
You
because,
feel taken care of. Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. But you also do some touring, and I'm sure that's picking up the pace with these specials under your
Yeah, I
belt.
have once I have like three or four that are I'm just waiting to be confirmed, and then I'll add those to like my website. But yeah, I want to do this year. I want to do more touring, and I don't know. Um, I think I love stand up, and I want to do stand up forever. But I also really love TV and movies, and I love to write for that, and I like to act, and so I would like to be able to ideally do all of the above. And I don't think there are people that are just road dogs, and that's all they want to do. I don't think that's me.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I'm too fragile for that, but I
But not
always
too
wanted,
fragile for acting in the whole
yes,
audition process. And
yes, I'm gonna say that, yes. Because
wow.
now it's all self-tapes, which sucks too
Mm,
because you can't meet the person, it's harder
yeah.
eventually if you get the job, but I feel like, sitting on a coach flight to Indiana when you're trying to get to Florida is just that'll break you, you know?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, so I think I'm doing a festival with my good friend Jessica Saul. We're doing a festival in Rosemary Beach, Florida next month. And on our flight back, we're stopping in Chicago. I'm like, dang it. What a waste. Like I know that was the cheaper flight, but
Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
mm, yeah. And since we've both been on Dork Forest and we know
Mm,
Jackie Cation, she is the
she is
quintessential road hog.
absolutely. She is. She's really too. She's one of my favorite comedians. She really is.
Yeah,
Like
sharp tongue, just oh, so lightning fast. And
I I actually have to give her and Lori Kilmartin credit because I think I was about a year or two into stand up, and a guy in my stand up class, because I was still taking the class,
uh-huh.
told me about the Jackie and Laurie show. And I was like, oh
Ooh.
no, I've never heard of it. And I started that week, I started listening, and I've been listening for like 8 years
Oh,
to the
have you
Jackie
been
and Laurie
named
show.
as like one of the
I
favorite
have been a
girls?
comic of the
Oh,
week. That
yay!
was a huge
Yay!
moment.
Bet, yeah.
I like have that saved on I like screen recorded the
Uh-huh.
whole thing. And so that was a big moment for me. And yeah, they're they don't realize it because they're not talking directly to me, but
Hmm.
they've been a big help, I think. Just listening to them and their advice and what they've gone through and has been, I mean, it's anytime a male comic too, but a female comic just starts, I'm like, listen to the Jackie and Laurie show.
Hmm.
That's my advice.
Yeah, that's actually really good advice. Because well, if you know Jackie at all, she doesn't mince words.
No,
Lori's a little more diplomatic, but
she is.
you can kind of read between
Mm-hmm.
the lines of what she's saying, and
Mm-hmm.
she's not mincing words in that way.
She's
Uh,
not mincing feelings.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I felt very lucky. Last spring, they both. I think it was last spring. I don't think it was 2 years ago, but they both came to Moon Tower, and they have never done a live Jackie and Laurie
My
show.
mom and sister were there.
Oh, really? Was that
Yes,
not amazing? Oh, Janine
with Janine
Garofalo. Oh
Garofalo.
my God.
So
Wow.
I cannot believe, yes, so definitely my mom and sister were in the same room with
That's
you because
awesome. That's
I heard
awesome.
they were doing that, and I told my sister and my mom, I go, you have to go because they also love Janine Garofalo.
Yeah.
And I saw Janine Garofalo years ago in Thousand Oaks. She did
Uh-huh.
like an auditorium in Thousand Oaks, and I had seen Kathy Griffin there like a year or so before. And it was so funny because Kathy Griffin was sold out, and Janine Garofalo, it was fine, but it wasn't sold out. And she was like, well, I heard Kathy Griffin, sold this place out, but I guess that's, why I'm supposed to get on Instagram or something. I don't know. And she had all these notes and they were everywhere. And
Yes,
I
yes.
loved every
It's
second of it.
brilliant. Yeah.
It was brilliant. And
Whole
then
notes thing is just, oh,
I
so
love it. And so yeah, so I was so bummed I couldn't be there. So I told my mom and sister to go. And they like met. I texted Jackie and I go, my mom and sister are going. And she was like, oh, tell them to say hi. So they said hi to her after. And Yeah, well, I heard the show was just so cool,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it was a weird little venue, not really set up for a comedy show or a live podcast, but
Was it Creek in the Cave?
no, 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 no. It's this little bar. I think it's on the same block as the Paramount Theater, but it's just
Oh.
a little. What is? Oh, I forgot what the name of it was. Is but yeah, it's like when you have people sitting down uh,
Hmm.
for a live podcast, it doesn't really work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So,
I
but
listened
it was
to
still
it.
great. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Well, listen to us getting all sidetracked. All right, let's
I
get back
know.
to Macy. Tell me about, I'm very curious about your writing
Mm.
approach, just because your jokes, they don't seem like they're impromptu jokes.
Hmm.
They have a lot of thought behind them, and you actually ask your audience to think when
Mm.
hearing your jokes, which I very much respect. I'm not a. I was telling my boyfriend because we were watching your special this morning, and
What a way to start the day.
yeah. Mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Go watch the Don't Tell special and then you'll understand the reference. Yeah, I was telling him, I don't understand my taste in comedy. I either want the really thinking
Mm.
person's comedy or I like the silly goose times, Zach Zucker and
Hmm.
his Stamptown stuff, all that ridiculousness. I'm at these two uh, seeming extremes of
Hmm.
what I like. But yeah, tell me about because it seems like you're writing things that require a lot of thought and deliberation and word choice, but I'm also amused by your comment about the water thing that happened at your very early showcase that was improvised.
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
So like yeah, tell me about like the not the process, but tell me more about like your writing style. And then the follow-up to that is, but do you allow some of those impromptu magical moments to creep in?
So I the impromptu magical moments I do think are the most I love those the most. And in the Don't Tell special, so I'm now getting more comfortable with tapings, but I was so anxious about things. I just want things to be word perfect when I'm taping that it does kind of take the magic away because when I'm loose and at a show, I think it ends up being a lot better. So I'm like, okay, I will let myself at this Don't Tell taping. I was like, I'll let myself be loose for one, but I pre thought of it. I thought of
Yeah,
it beforehand, but still I was like, this is going to be my little riff because I want to feel more free on
yeah,
stage when it's being taped, like
yeah.
it wouldn't be. So when I said the Dr. Squatch is probably a
What I was
gynecologist,
thinking. Yeah.
yeah, that was like right before I went on stage. I was like,
Mm,
okay, you can have that. Um, so if I'm doing a normal show, I love impromptu. Like I try to even um, be pretty loose with like I'll have a bullet points of the bits I want to work on,
mm,
but then I have no issue going out of order and this this is a little nerdy of me, but it I did think it is kind of like sports in that you come up with these plays,
mm.
but it depends on what the defense is doing. If somebody in the audience has this really weird laugh or this real like that's going to affect the play.
Yeah,
So it's I think that it's important to like have a plan, but then you have to be able to adapt.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So but it's hard for me to be like that for tapings. For tapings, I'm like, I want this to be, yeah, word perfect exactly how, because I do meticulously kind of play around with words for
Mhm.
stuff like that and like what order. And I really like doing that. I think that's really fun and interesting. But I
Yeah, so
think,
on these tapings, you're like very locked in. You're very still. You
mm-hmm,
don't hold the mic. You just stand there at the
mm,
mic. Is that different than what we would see at a
No. I'm still
Okay.
that's still the same.
Okay.
I'm still, and I rarely ever take the mic out of the stand. I did for my dry bar because it was 40 minutes long, and I was like, I don't think I can just stand there. I was like, but I have no idea. So I was like, all right, take it out. I was very specific. I was like, take it out after this joke.
Uh-huh.
So that also because they did two filmings or two tapings, so I was like, continuity, they're gonna have to.
Mm.
So, yeah, I don't, that's very much the same, but it's just I guess what I say is a little bit more loose at
Yeah.
another show. But that is also how I discover new tags and things. So I think that I do write, some people I know, like I've heard Mark Maron and Ali Wong, they say that they write pretty much solely on stage. They'll
Yeah.
have a premise and then they go up there. I don't I think mine's a combination. I think it's mostly off, but then the really fun, good little stuff is on stage that I
Yeah.
can then take. I record all my sets. I don't listen. In an ideal world, this is my ideal day. I wake up, I listen to a set. No, that's too soon. See, I can't figure out. This is why this isn't happening. It's because I can't figure out the right time to do it. I feel like I need some caffeine at some, but I
Mm.
want to every day sit down and like listen to the night before. But I don't do that. Like
Mm.
I listen at all different times of the day. I'm like, oh God, how did I say that? Like, but I record everything so that I want to get into, now that I'm 11 years in,
Time for some good
I'm
habits.
time for some good habits. I hate though when comics are like, I write, how many hours a day? I'm like, oh,
Oh.
get over yourself. Like, I don't know. Like, that's so, I also like write right before I go on stage. I'll be like, oh, I gotta write this down real
Mm.
quick. Um, so no, maybe now that, yeah, year 11 starts, I'm now going to start the healthy habits and it's going to change everything.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
What the with the dry bar. So I haven't
Mm,
watched the dry bar special. I know some about the dry bar and what an experience it
mm,
is to do those specials. Watching your Don't Tell, there's a particular segment in there where you cover some personal things
mm-hmm.
that have happened to you. Is that topic, and I'm not going to spoil it for people, is that
Okay.
topic something that you are allowed, not allowed to talk about in a dry bar special?
It's not in my dry bar.
Okay.
When I taped the dry bar, that material wasn't quite ready.
Mm,
So I didn't even have to think about, am I going to try to fit this
okay.
in? I don't think they would have allowed it just because it's I think they really want children to be able to watch it as
Yeah.
well. And even though in my opinion, I think children should be able to maybe see that, it's still like ugh, now you got to pause and explain thing,
Like,
you know.
yeah.
So that would be a reason why I think they maybe wouldn't allow it, but I don't know. But
Yeah.
I didn't have to cross that bridge when I filmed the dry bar. And I kind of wanted, because I knew that I was going to have when I did my dry bar, I think I knew I was going to do a don't tell. So I
Mm,
wanted to not have all the same material.
sure. Yeah. Um, if you think back to your past 11 years, do you have a favorite joke?
Hmm. Hmm. Uh, I I really love and I think it's time for me to retire it because I think I lean on it a little too much because it's so I love how quick I love the Suicide Prevention Center.
Mm,
I don't think that's in my
I don't think it
that's
is.
not okay, that's not in my it's in my dry bar, but it's not in my don't tell about how the Suicide Prevention Center is a tall building and I just don't think it should be think it should be single story. And I love that joke because it's quick and it's honestly not always, people don't always get it.
Yeah.
And
You have to
but
think
it
about it, which is,
yeah.
you know, what what do you like about it? Because it forces people to think, or just because it's quick?
I think because it's quick and it's also silly.
Mm.
It's silly, but it's also really dark. I think I
Yeah.
like the combination of both
Yeah.
of that it's I like, yeah, I like that so it's like I kind of feel like if I get the light and I'm like, okay, I got to get off stage,
Mm.
that's such a nice one to just leave them with. And it's like it's under a minute and I just love that joke so much and I love it too because I really was just driving by it years ago and
Mhm.
I looked at that building and I was like, it is kind of tall for what it is. And so it's just like, it's just simple and true. And although I've dealt with talking about this, adding this to the joke, but it's too long and I just put it like in an Instagram caption. But to be completely honest, I don't know if it's tall enough to kill you. I don't know how, but it is tall enough to make you wish you were dead, which then just gets you right back into the building. So, I really, yeah, I truly don't know. I think you would just be really injured. But I don't know. I feel like if you dove, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should call. I'll ask. I'll call up the building. Mhm.
Um, have you ever wanted to quit, and what pulled you back?
I really have never wanted to quit.
Mm.
I have wanted, and I've thought about this, like how it would be nice to, because my husband he's not in anything entertainment. He just has a normal job, and there's something really freeing about like when he's home, he's home. There's no pressure to like go out and if someone if someone texts me at 6 p.m. like and can you get here in an hour? I'm like, yes.
Mhm.
He doesn't have that. And there's this like scarcity mentality that I think a lot of us have, and that, if we don't take this gig, then we might not ever get a gig again. So I'm like working on that because I do think it's a marathon, this life.
Yeah.
But so there are moments where I'm like, I wish I didn't want this, but I had a really cool moment. This will be coming out next year. Did a stand-up Netflix competition, and I'm on it.
Nice.
And
Congratulations.
thank you. And I had this feeling like, wow, it felt like all those birthday parties I had to leave early, or these, dinners I had to cancel. Like it felt like it was worth it in the moment, or it wasn't for nothing. It was like, I'm really doing something, trying
Yeah.
to do something. So, I've, so to answer your question, I've never really been like, I'm going to quit, but I've had my frustrations for sure. But the only thing that probably, there's nothing else for me to do. And I don't even mean that in like there's obviously, Maria Bamford says, if you can lean, you can clean. That's what Jackie Cation always says. So it's like,
Mhm.
yes, there are definitely tons of other things I can do,
Yeah.
but there's nothing, this is still what I want to do, I guess is the point.
Yeah. Mm. Well, we're going to shift away from being super philosophical, and let's talk
Was
about
it
the type.
too much?
No. Let's talk about the things that the projects that you most love and want to kind of pivot to promoting. You said
Okay.
you have a show that you do, a monthly show.
Yes, that's in Santa Monica. It's called the Picture Day Show. I host and produce that show. Um, and I think I'm going to be coming to Dallas in a
Ooh,
few months,
nice.
and I'm gonna be DC. I'm going to be in DC. I don't have the ticket link ready, but yeah, I'm booking these cities that I'm excited to go and perform in. And right now, I'm working on this is not this is just me talking to you. I mean, we are recording, I understand, but I'm working on a script right now that
Ooh,
I'm writing that has really been really fun for me to do. And it's a feature. And I have nothing like I don't no one's asked for it. It's not like this is just me doing it.
Yeah.
Um, but I've been really enjoying that process and it's very though like, whenever you do stand up, it's like, well, what else do you do? It's
Mm.
never enough. You've got to do all the other things.
Especially in LA, because everybody
Yeah,
else is doing all these other things and it's in
right.
your face. So,
Right, exactly. And thankfully I do like writing, but yeah, so that's been fun to work on and I also just am excited because I'm crafting just a new hour because there was 40 minutes on the dry bar that I'm chucking and
yeah.
then 12 on the don't tell. So that was kind of my hour.
Yeah.
So I've started working on a new hour and I performed it in LA, a very rough first draft of it in December, I think it was. So I'm kind of excited to work on that more.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
podcast, is it still going on?
Oh my gosh, the podcast.
Yes.
Yes. Very excited about that as well because we're rebranding.
Oh, okay.
And by the time this comes out, I think it should be called That's Our Time. Will be what the
Okay.
podcast is called because SSR I'm okay trips people up too much and people don't. It's too difficult. It was funny to my co-host and me, but now it's like we're over it. We can make something more acceptable for the masses. So I co-host it with a psychiatrist. And it's called That's Our Time because the new format is a comedian comes in and we only have 50 minutes like a
Oh,
therapy session to deal with whatever is going on. So when the time's up, the time's up. Like that's it.
that's amazing.
So that's the show, and we've already recorded a few episodes. So I think the first episode's coming out like February 17th or something like that. But if you follow SSR, I'm okay. We're just taking over that. It'll be in your feed.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
And how
Yeah.
long have you had this podcast?
Couple years,
Okay.
year and a half maybe. We've had two seasons so far, and before there wasn't the time limit. It was just sort of talking to comedians and even some mental health experts about certain issues. It was more mental health focus and comedy was kind of on the back burner. And then now we're kind of making comedy in the forefront and it's still mental health, but that's kind of the tweak we're making is it hopefully it'll still be informative, but it's going to be funny. And I think before it was like more important to be informative. But people don't care about information.
What?
That's what I've learned. They don't care. They
You
don't
mean
need, yeah, and it doesn't
they
need to
don't
be
believe
right.
videos that they watch?
Nope. They don't believe you anyway.
Yeah.
And so, but we do, my co-host, he does really care about, bless him. He does really care about the truth, as do I. But
Yeah.
so he's there to keep us in check though. Like if anything, he's like, no, wait, don't, that's not, that's not true.
It's pretty rare to get a mental health professional to commit to a podcast
Hmm. We met in the
recorded
stand-up
with
comedy
comic.
class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Ah,
so that's how we've known each other forever, and he ended up going a different route, but we still that's how we met.
yeah, wow.
Hmm. Hmm.
As
Yep.
opposed to what I was thinking is, oh, he's
I
going
met I he was my psychiatrist, and I go, I got an idea for us. Yeah, that would be a problem. Yeah.
right.
Totally.
That's amazing. And your parents are here in Austin,
Hmm.
so we get to see you in Austin from time to time. I think you were here in December and you had some shows, but am I misremembering?
Oh, I did. I forgot. Wait. Yes, I was here in no, I was here in October. I was there one
Oh,
December.
okay.
I think that was 2 Decembers ago.
Oh, okay.
But then last year I was in October, I was featuring for Leslie Liao at Cap City,
Oh,
and that
okay.
was really fun. Yeah, so I try to do some shows when I come back,
Yeah.
and because now, it's everywhere. So
Yeah. Well,
Should be
hopefully.
easier, you would think. I remember before the boom, I did a Don't Tell Austin, which was super fun.
Yeah.
Like I love Ron Taylor's there and Dylan Sullivan.
Love him.
Love him. So they were
Yeah,
both at the store when they were, I think Dylan was a door guy.
he was.
I think even Ron was a door guy, maybe when I,
Ah,
yeah, so started there. So yeah, they, I definitely, have people I can reach out to
yeah,
when I come down there.
yeah. Yeah, there are good producers out there. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
And now I know you, Valerie
And now you
Lopez.
know me.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I can tell you who are the good eggs out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that you want to promote or talk about before we
Mm,
wrap up?
really just I'm trying to post more on Instagram
Mm,
and trying to, churn out the reels. And I was talking, and I maybe shouldn't be, but I was talking to ChatGPT about all of this. And I was saying, I don't want to, because I think there's something I like people who aren't so everywhere, like I like a little mystery,
mm-hmm.
but it's just that's kind of not the I think you can still post reels though, and you can still be a mystery. I'm not telling people what I'm eating for breakfast, but
Yeah.
it's there's this like this someone being like almost like unattainable is exciting, but not I guess it's not to people anymore. Need people in their feed like every day. But to
Yeah.
me that would annoy me. So I'm talking to ChatGPT and I go, I don't want to post every day. I think that's annoying, not only
Mhm.
for me, but for people who are following me. Nobody needs that.
Yeah.
And then ChatGPT said, you might be right. I mean, it wants to just, you know what I mean? It's not
Want
gonna,
your approval. Yeah.
yeah. So he or she came up with it's actually a she. I have a
Mm.
female British voice on it. She came up with like a schedule for me to post so that I wouldn't get burned out and that they wouldn't get burned
Ah,
out. But it's still like every other day. And I'm like, that's still a lot.
yeah.
All that being said, follow me and don't and and if I post too much, I'm so sorry, but please don't unfollow me. I'm just doing what ChatGPT's telling. I'm just doing what everyone else is doing. Would I jump off a bridge if other people would? Yes. All the things.
You also have a website, so people can go
Hmm.
to look at the website for show
Yeah.
updates and
And
you
if
know.
you're a TikTok person, I'm there. If
Oh,
you're a
okay.
YouTube shorts, I'm there too. You know, pick your poison.
All right.
Hmm.
Well, are you ready for your closing question?
It's probably, is it what's one word to describe my future?
You guessed it.
All right. Oh man, I should have known that was coming and I should have thought of it. I was too busy being in the moment. Okay. My one word for my future is um ready for this?
Uh-huh.
You're like, of course I asked. Uh
I did that.
Connection.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think that is what's important.
Hmm. In this digital world
Correct.
is important.
And if you can make my dog's deciding to drink water right now and she every time she drinks water it's as if she's never had water before in her life. So it's quite an event. Every multiple times a day she slurps it up. Uh
Oh, I can
so
actually, yeah.
no, yeah, she should do she should do animation, voiceover. But yeah, that's my word.
All right, I'm making the note. Uh,
Okay. What is that? Do I now have to make a collage about
no,
what that means? Okay, good.
don't
Just gonna have to
worry.
call my mom.
That is a wrap on Comedy Way presents Macey Isaacs. Macey, tell us where we can find you on social media and promote those projects.
MaceyIsaacs.com. It's MaceyIsaacs. So both words, both names are tricky. And then at Macey Isaacs on all the other things.
Awesome. We hope you've enjoyed learning about how Macy got to be the comedic genius that you heard today just as much as I have.
Wow. Thank you. That's very kind.
This has been Comedy Wham Presents Macy Isaacs. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you, Macy.
Thank you.